Good evening. Welcome to the regular city council meeting, Wednesday. No, what's that? Yeah. November 5th, 2025. Calling the meeting to order. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Roll call, please, Misty.
Smock.
Here.
Clements.
Here.
DeWater.
Here.
Morris.
Here.
Weir.
Here.
Number 4 is approval of the November 5th, 2025 agenda. I'll take a motion to approve, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
5 is public comment. Anyone have any comment for the council and mayor? Moving on to the approval of the consent agenda. Take a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On 7, approval of the resolution calendar. I'd like to vote on resolution 7011 separately because I actually printed it off for you, and I just wanted to give just a brief explanation. So I'll do a motion to approve the rest of the resolution calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Smock.
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
DeWater.
No.
Morris.
Yes.
Weir.
Yes.
On resolution 7011, if you look at your little packet here, I just want to point out that we were trying to balance our TIF because, there's fees or there's reductions or whatever. And this is a long term, the many, many, many years that we've had TIF districts. So if you look at the first page, it's Evansdale New Resident District. Hopefully it says that, yeah. We're asking for additional certification of 139,412. And if you go to that second page, it's going to explain what that is. So the 2015 GEO bond, the low to moderate income was 34.1% of the TIF tax rate at certification. But we actually have to certify that to the county, which hadn't been done up to this point. So all the rest of the information is the same. It's just the first page and the second page. Of course, we just got that new 2025 GEO bond, reconstruction bond for the Lafayette roadway. But there was like some bond fees that were lacking. I went back through several years of the GEO bonds that we have passed. Just to make sure that we were certifying everything that we had coming towards us for this city.
Which one is the new residential district?
The new residential is, we went and did a development agreement with Dean Properties, and that was back in 2015.
Yeah, I'm sorry, physically located. Which one
Oh,
is that?
it was a new district. So if you go on our website under resources, under the TIF map, okay, you'll see it. It's just a really light yellow area, and it's on Lafayette North.
Is that North Lafayette?
Yeah, so it covered probably from Roosevelt to the bridge and north of there, because we put a road extension in on Norma Avenue
Yep.
for that project.
Okay, thank you. That was the only one.
Yeah.
Call. I'm familiar with the others.
And if no explanation, I'll take a motion to approve.
So
Or no
moved.
additional questions, sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Smock.
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
DeWater.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Weir.
Yes.
Number 8, Resolution 7013, approving change order number 5 in the amount of $104,200 23306 with Midwest Concrete for the Lafayette reconstruction project. I also sent out that email to all of you just to show you that it's really not approved. I mean, we're approving it, but it's just for DOT standards because of the quantities. So they had to show, they had to update a bunch of quantities, but we've already approved 87,000 of this. And that was coming from our project manager. And I'm like, well, that seems kind of confusing. That's why I sent the email to you. And he kind of just laid it out. Hopefully. Do you have questions, Justin?
No, because you had mentioned before the DOT stuff, but it was Mid-American and things, all of those, correct?
That was actually the amendment to the agreement with Bolton and Mink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when we first started,
Yep, I got it backwards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
in some of the change orders, we actually, out of the whole project, which was really actually quite well, because the DOT even budgeted more for it, we only probably had change orders total in the amount of 900,000. So that's not bad on a, $5 million project. Any questions?
I move passage of resolution 7013.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 9 is request from mayor to approve amendment to agreement with Bolton and Mink for the reconstruction of Lafayette Road. And that amendment was, because when they came in, we had a franchisee agreement with Mid-American, of course. Well, there was a gas line, and it was a main gas line that was never, part of the survey. So it was kind of a hidden jewel. So as a result of that, they had to actually redesign the whole plans for the stormwater because they couldn't use the same type of stormwater. You girls probably remember this. They couldn't use the same type of stormwater system that they were going to use. They had to use one that was going to. Chris, you're going to help me with this. It instead of being back of curb, it was just in front of curb. Yeah. So anyway, they had to redesign all the plans for that and do, between Midwest Concrete and Bolton and Mink, they had to go out and find the stormwater systems that we were going to be able to use that we could utilize, or we would have had to pay Mid-American to relocate it, which I'm sure that would have been upwards of thousands and thousands of dollars.
Wait, so you were aware of this?
Yes. Oh yeah, from the beginning.
I
Yeah.
remember this whole conversation because Mid-American even came in and kind of presented a nice little fine print that
Yeah.
basically said, if it's something that you all have to move and work around, then you have to. Then we're not moving it. And the question was, but you never told us about it, so how do we know what was in the ground? And they're like, so
Well, that's
I didn't
what I
like it, but contractually we're
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah, and they gave the indication that it could be $100,000.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a lot.
Why
And it
was
was a
not part
main,
of the
too.
survey?
Well, Mid-American also works with our engineers of identifying where where these lines are and stuff. And it was never disclosed. I mean, I guess we could have taken to court or whatever. Not real sure, but yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
Well, and how the agreement, the contract was wrote up and stuff that specifically stated I'd have to go back to get the exact wording, whether they told us or they didn't. So let's say
It
they did
doesn't-
told us and identified, wouldn't have made zero difference.
No.
We just would have knew about it ahead of time, so it wouldn't have been a surprise that might have made it a little bit cheaper because they started on some stuff and then had to back out. But otherwise, we'd have still been in the same boat.
So basically, an error or omission in their records is still our responsibility.
In their
Yes.
contract,
Not
basically
theirs.
fixing it is still on us. Yep.
Yep.
Yep, and I questioned that one too, and it was, well, I mean, they're big, they got lawyers, it worked, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I did send you a copy of that ordinance.
Yep, I
And
remember that.
with that highlighted, and I was like, I was really impressed at that meeting that she was just gonna say, this ain't our baby, it's yours.
Yeah, it wasn't the first time that's ever come up. You can tell they just had all their responses ready. It's like,
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
So
And
I
there
just-
was a couple other little ones like that too.
I mean, as much, and I don't want to pass this off as being irresponsible with tax dollars, but I kind of had to make peace with the cost of doing business. It's just that it was just one of those change order things that just came up that, yeah,
Right,
unfortunately, that's the only way through it, so.
yeah. Well, it caused a lot of additional hours for Bolton and Ming's team. I'll take a request to approve that, please, or a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need to go back to 8 because we need to do roll call. I'm going to just ask for a roll call on Resolution 7013.
Smock.
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
Pilar. Morris.
Yes.
Weir.
Yes.
I was wondering about that, but you stumbled on and then changed
Well,
it, and I'm like, well, maybe
you
she
know
knew.
what?
Okay, we're good.
Because normally we don't, have resolutions pass on. For some reason, I was like, we need a roll call now. No, we don't.
It's like I thought resolutions were roll call, but maybe not. Maybe we're good.
It's a new rule.
Right. 10 is request from police chief to purchase stalker radar in the amount of $31.93 is budgeted for FY26 with applied concepts. That was also in our res bills. So I wanted to just make sure, because it was beyond our spending limit, that it got in front of council to approve as well.
I move approval of the request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Request from Public Works Director to order LED replacement bulbs for West Gilbert Drive in the amount of $2,690.52. Chris, you said that was only like 6 bulbs, right? 6 heads. So West Gilbert as well as Lafayette are the city's responsibility. So he wants to, as the lights go out, which I think he had 2 or 3 he was working on last week, or this week, 6, okay. Instead of doing the old vapor lights like we used to have, to update that as we go along, and he wanted to have just a couple in stock as well, right? Yeah. Savings in the long run, is that correct, Chris?
And this was in one of the budget items anyways, correct? That dollar amount
Well,
within
we
the
always
field?
have streetlight maintenance.
Yep, in the maintenance
Yeah.
piece of it, okay.
Yeah, and you're all aware of this, but City Waterloo ceased to serve our traffic lights in our city as of June 28th of this last year. So Chris and Jim with Blackhawk Electric, because they've decided to come alongside us, and also Mobitrex. We've been meeting with them, just things that we're gonna need to keep in stock. And, they're gonna be there for us, but we're gonna pretty much maintain our own traffic lights now.
Okay.
Yeah. So ultimately, we should see a savings down the road, but not in the beginning, because we're gonna have to have some supplies on hand.
Good.
And that'll be on probably the next agenda, hopefully, because it's about to the tune of about, what, 10 grand? Yeah. Yeah. And as we're getting close to going into budget, something that we'll also need to budget for in the future is, what we have here is idle. Loop, okay. What we have at Dubuque and Evans is a loop system, and that's by a pad that is like carved into the concrete. So, and at Doris Drive in Evansdale Road, we have a camera system. So we will want to transition to that in the future. That was a recommendation by not only Mobitrex, but also the city of Waterloo. Because once those are wore out, you know, you'd have to pay some big money to come and put them back in. So, but that's something we'll start budgeting for, and maybe do a step-by-step process as far as that goes. Okay. Did I get a motion for that? No. May I get a motion? Any questions? I'm sorry.
I didn't have.
Okay.
I would make that motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 12 is a request from Public Works Director to make necessary repairs to Bobcat track loader in the amount of $9907.96 with Murphy Tractor, and this has already been verbally approved. So I'll just take a motion to approve, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 13 is request to authorize payment to Fischel's Commercial Group for the exchange of land development agreement with Quick Trip in the city for the Eagles Landing development in the amount of $210,000. When we were, this has been time, you know, and I was like, I don't know if everyone's going to remember this, so I just ended up throwing it on the agenda. But when we did the exchange of land with Quick Trip, you know, we were doing it for $1. We weren't charging them for any lots, meaning since we already had an agreement with Chris Fischel's, then we were going to have to pay that commission. So that's what that is.
And just big picture.
And it's
too.
in the, yeah, and it's in the rest of bills too, so.
Well, and just big picture too, because this would be a good refresh for anybody that does look and just be like, well, why is the city paying commission and things on it? Obviously, we may all know this here, but for the recording, Quick Star went to bat in that they needed a small piece of private land, a corner that cut off their lot. And in doing so, the city had previously approached that property owner up to an amount of $750,000. Quick Star went to bat for us. They procured the sale of that land and then transferred it to the city, minus that small corner. So effectively, for $210,000, we not only were able to keep Quick Trip here, because
Right.
they wouldn't have been able to build otherwise, and we were able to now build out an entire separate section, another full phase of open lots to bring in more businesses. So $210,000 to me when it got brought in, and where I was sitting at it as we talked with Chris Fischel's that evening, it was a win-win. It was just kind of a no-brainer that yes, we had to pay the commission versus Quick Star, but
Yeah.
what we were gaining from Quick Star, not only in their development but all the new land that came with it, was just. In my opinion, would have been foolish to say no to it.
Yeah.
So that
And,
ended up
and
being
what did
phase two.
officials do to facilitate all this?
We had an agreement.
I know it, but actually,
Had a contract.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, other than a contract, did he facilitate any of the transactions?
They've been working through him for the whole
Okay.
thing.
Yeah. So he was involved as the Realtor. I know what you're getting at, Dick, as far as kind of who had the lead, who brought the business and things in. Not that, of course, I was in, and I certainly don't want to, insult him not being here to be able to speak for himself, but it was very much, I'd say, a shared deal that the city and the mayor and others kind of had at the enticement, and then just because of the Realtor representing the city, then carried on to do the paperwork from there. But,
Yeah, well, and that's what I would expect, that he would at least do.
yep.
Yeah,
What we would expect in a realtor to do.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been involved in, of course, the purchase agreement, all the development agreements and everything that we've done as part of the process.
So
And
that property minus the little corner that Quick Star needed ended up being our phase two.
That's
Is that
correct.
right?
That's
Yep.
correct. Yep.
That we were willing in 2020 to pay $750,000 for. So we got a really good deal.
Yep.
And we have people interested in those lots already, so Something we'll be talking about in a minute. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Going right into that, under 14 is council to consider Eagles Landing lot pricing. When we did have an agreement with officials, his commission per lot was 30,000. So people were actually paying that and then paying the city $1. That's not why we're doing this. We're doing it for economic development. We're doing this for an increase in our assessed value in our commercial business in our city. This was kind of like our last chance to expand. In this that Dick can remember they talked about for 20 years. But do we want to kind of maybe take some, sell those lots instead of just doing the whole dollar thing to recoup, some of the money we've spent on infrastructure? I just wanted to throw that out there. We had talked about it, and actually, when I was talking to our city attorney, we were wrapping everything up for Quick Trip because it actually did close last Thursday, and it appears that they're going to be breaking ground first availability in the spring to build this new trucking center. But people were paying that. People were paying that 30,000 per lot. So just
So-
food for thought.
Since we don't have a contract any longer with Mr. Fischels.
That won't actually expire until December.
Right, so going next year forward. When we sell a lot, who will be doing the paperwork steps that Mr. Fischels used to do?
Actually, it's going to be our city attorney,
Okay.
and he's been really involved already. So
But,
So we will have a certain amount of costs.
exactly,
And
there will be
that's what
still
I was
some
getting
dollars
at.
there.
exactly.
It's not gonna be done in-house,
No,
so. So we should probably look
I don't know.
at
We're
selling
getting
them
kind of
for-
good at it.
Although I want to see Misty do it left-handed.
That's shaky.
Yeah, so I think I know where you're going with it.
So we need more than $1
Correct.
in the
Yep.
future.
And if 30,000 kind of seemed to be a good settling spot, I think to start it, it seemed like it's there. And again, yes, we'll have some legal costs and then maybe get a little bit back. Obviously, we're in it for the long-term gain, but I agree. I'm for more than just $1 on these since we're kind of representing ourselves.
Do we still have our tax abatement in place for commercial buildings?
We do, but
So,
not for Eagles Landing.
Okay, so they're not able to tap in on that. That's kind of surprises me, before it always used to be
Like
trading tax credits,
Yeah.
tax abatements,
Yeah.
for guarantee to come to the city. But you haven't had to deal with any of that.
No.
Oh,
No, and that's to our benefit, but when we laid the foundation for Eagles Landing, right up front, we said, no, we would do the land for a minimal fee per lot. And we were not gonna do any kind of tax rebate or abatement on the commercial
Yeah,
properties.
well, I remember some of that discussion, but you know how that goes.
And really, when, a developer would come into our city, they're usually, like a great example would be Cedar Falls Community Credit Union, sorry. When they came in, they bought the land. They had to go through and tear that building down and all that kind of stuff. And then they came to us for a tax abatement. So we're, abating their taxes for 5 years. So, but we didn't have any skin in the game, so that's what we're giving them for developing in our city.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I've always agreed with those agreements on a case-by-case basis,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
I'm pleased, I guess, but surprised that
Yeah.
nobody has sort of threatened us with that.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Well, we've got some prime ground out there.
Yeah, we do. That's for sure. And I'll look into the, this is just for, council to consider, but I'll look in more into the legalistics of that and, what we have to do, moving forward. Is this, or is it something we take a case by case basis? I don't think that we want to do that. I think we should set, a fee. It could even be based on square footage.
I would imagine we'd need to know a cost basis with the city attorney.
Yeah.
How much time each one of these deals might take.
Mm-hmm.
And then, going value in
Yeah.
similar neighborhoods, I suppose, for,
Sure.
I guess similar districts, whatever you want to call it, for development purposes. There's an amount that people are willing to pay for a strip of land, and there's what it's worth. So.
I totally agree. So I'll look more into that for you and have something on the next agenda to move forward with that. So you have time to think about that too yourself personally.
I think now that we've got some movement out there,
Yeah.
the appeal is going to be greater.
Yeah.
So, it's not just hopes and dreams. People aren't going, well, maybe there might be some movement.
Right.
It's happening. So
Right.
hopefully that'll make the rest of them sell quicker.
Number 15 is council to consider quotes for the demolition of 952 Giltville Road. So the reason I didn't put this in there is because I actually want to explain it to you. If you look at your first packet, which has Frickson on top, you have the 19.7 and you also have the 22.15. The 22.15 is for capping and the well pump for the water pump. And then our pull pump and do what they need to do to cap it. And then also the demolition, septic tank and fill. And then, so that total there is 21,915. With advanced environmental doing the asbestos abatement, which they were gonna charge $21,200. So that brings our total to 43,115. On the second quote sheet, this is a company that was actually initially recommended by Advanced Environmental. And the reason they recommend them, they're like a one-stop shop. So they get all the permits, they get, all what they need to do. Plus they're gonna remove all that. They're gonna tear down the buildings, tear down the home, and also remove the asbestos in the process. Their total, however, was $50,850 to do that. So, and then on your third, last but not least, is whole excavation. That is not any asbestos removal, but their total to do all the work that everybody else is quoting was $41,195. That does not include asbestos, which would be another $21,000 on top of that. So what I would like to do is have a motion to approve Frickson Brothers doing the demo of the house and all the buildings, and then Advanced Environmental doing the asbestos removal.
So moved.
Second.
And then you guys would like to proceed sooner than later, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And again,
No.
Mayor, just to clarify too, since
Yeah.
this was just up on the agenda for consideration,
Yes.
are we able to take action off of
Yes.
this like this? Okay.
Yep. Number 16, Mayor Council reports. Good news, we got another grant to do Angels Park project. So we got a REAP grant. The REAP grant's gonna help with the biocell, because that was a 50-50 split with the water quality grant. And also with the planning of the native plantings around the lake to help with the deterrence of the geese. And also it's good bank protection as well. And I was notified of that last week, so that was an additional 75,000. And that's not a 50/50 grant, that's a $75,000 grant, so, yeah, it was just awarded. Yeah, congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to Dick, as he's gonna be looking forward to, an actual retirement from city council after 27 years. Looking forward to working with all of you again, and thank you for caring enough for our city to continue to do this, because it's a devotion. It's a lot of work. So, that's all I have.
I just had a question for Chris. Are you already aware of 2 streetlights on River Forest Road as you come down the ramp towards Quick Star? One is out and one was blinking rapidly. I would say, I think it's the one closer to the ramp than the one that's out, if I remember right. But they're one right after the other on the east side of River Forest Road. Thank you.
Oh, and just a reminder, I'll start stating this now. Our second annual lighting of Lafayette and Jeep Jingle Bell Parade will be held on December 6th this year. We'll have Santa Claus, provided by Ted's Home and Hardware. Wonderlust is going to be doing just sell of different crafts and all that, kind of like a little market. We'll be having, of course, the kids can get their picture of Santa Claus. We'll be having hot chocolate, popcorn. We'll do the lighting of the lights once we do that. Then we have the 5707th Jeep Club that will be driving Jeeps. They'll start at the AMVETS. They'll drive up to Lafayette and kind of, drive around this area and then just drive around town. They decorate their Jeeps with a Christmas attire. So make sure you come out. Bring your songbooks. We're going to sing a lot of carols. The event's going to start at 4, and it should be over about 6:15 or so. And that's going to be downtown Lafayette, where our big Christmas tree is. December 6th. And it's also going to be in the Evansdale News as well. Yes, we're closing the street. I'll get that on the next agenda. So if nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?